So in life, we have many different visible temptations. Let me explain to what I mean. You can be with me and you can see me being tempted with a girl to do something. Visually, you can see it. You can see me being tempted to steal something. You can see me being tempted to do something and get away with it. You can see me being tempted to do something that's absolutely bad. There are many different temptations in life. But as an entrepreneur, there is an invisible temptation that when you go through, no one's ever going to notice but you. And that's what stings. So let me tell you what's the most invisible temptation of an entrepreneur. You know what's the invisible temptation of an entrepreneur? Is when the entrepreneur starts dropping their standards. Let me explain to what I mean by this. When the entrepreneur starts lowering the standards, no one feels it. No one sees it. No one can see it. Nothing. So here's what the standard could look like. For instance, you've typically had a routine for bringing people on board for working for your firm, and they'd go through an XYZ 5-step process before you hire them on board. You're not doing that anymore. You've dropped your standards. You'd have a process that every single sales rep used to go through that they had to do 1, 2, 3 before you allow them to go out there in the field and start selling. You're no longer doing that. You've dropped your standards. You're no longer expecting your executives at the office to be showing up at a certain time and leaving at a certain time and really pushing it in their departments that they have. You don't have that expectation anymore. You are losing your standards. You are dropping your standards. You used to expect people to sell a certain amount of every month. New person, mid-level, and high-level salesperson, you're no longer expecting that from them. You're dropping your standards. You used to have a certain expectation of all your vendors on what they had to do. And now you let them do whatever they're doing, and you don't even know it. They're marking you up 20, 30, 40%. You have no clue. You're thinking these vendors love you. There's commission-driven, these vendors. You're dropping your standards. You used to have a certain expectation on the way you brought them carriers on board, or partners on board, or product partners on board, product providers on board. You no longer look through that process anymore. You've dropped your standards. You used to have a certain procedure set up when every single time a new subscription, a new client, a new sales would come in, you had to do X, Y, Z. You're not doing that anymore. You're dropping your standards. You used to pay attention to every single way a phone call would be made to your office, whether it's your front desk assistant, the first person that touches a customer. Thank you for calling XYZ. How may I help you? Thank you for calling XYZ. This is Mary. How may I help you? And then they go through the script. Now they're like, hey, this is Mary. How can I help you? Nope, you're dropping your standards. You used to be expecting people to not be put on hold for more than 12 seconds. Now you're not even tracking the time. You're losing your standards. You used to listen to the calls every single department would make and go sit in different cubicles to hear if they still have the same passion, enthusiasm as they're speaking to the customers. If they still have the same thing. You're not doing that anymore. You're losing your standards. You used to monitor things, study trends, look at numbers, look at different departments on how they're performing, have monthly leadership meetings with every one of them, sit down and have conversations with them minimum monthly, if not weekly. You're not doing that anymore. You're losing your standards. You used to go out there and visit every single storefront, every single sales office, every single location that you have in place to see what's going on in there. Listen to the employees, listen to the sales reps, listen to the customers. You're not doing that anymore. You've lost your standards. But you know what's crazy? Let me tell you, I can go on and on for another 2 hours, giving you all the different examples. And you know what you'll notice? No one is going to know about this temptation because it's invisible. But you know who notices it? Numbers never lie. Let me tell you. You can blame everything with numbers. No, but you don't understand what our numbers is because the market. Okay, that's fine. If the marketplace, 100% of everybody is struggling, like let's just say the mortgage time, and you are as well, I'll get it. I'll give you that one right there, no problem. If in a marketplace, everybody, the day after 9/11, everybody is not selling and you're not, I'll give it to you. Okay, no problem. If the marketplace has absolutely, your headquarters is in New Orleans, God forbid, a crisis takes place with the flooding. God, something terrible, I get it. For everybody else, for the most part, if you don't have a disaster or a crisis that takes place in your business, every single one of it goes back to the invisible temptation you had of dropping your standards. And you know what typically happens? You lose a little bit of your edge, which I talked about in another video. You lose your standards and they feel it because, oh, it's okay. Let him get away with it. Totally fine. It's okay. No problem. It's this. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, 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 no. Listen, you lost your standards. You lost your mojo. You used to be driving people like this. You're no longer doing it. Why? Let's talk about that part. Why do you think that is? You know why? Because your belly's full. It's tough to say that, huh? No, Pat, no way in the world. Yes, it is. Your belly's full. Your standards have dropped of yourself. And the moment your own standards drop of yourself, everybody else around you is affected by it as well, but no one sees it except you. See, only you know if you've dropped your standards. Nobody else is going to know it. They'll know it within 3, 6, 12 months, 24 months later, because it's going to come back to you. And they'll say things like this. You know, he used to be a lot stronger. He used to be a lot, she used to be earlier. She used to leave later. She used to send more. She used to call us more. He used to visit. He used to do this more, and he doesn't anymore. What happened? But no one brings it up because most people don't want to bring it up to you. But you've lost your edge. You've lost your edge. I've had many conversations with many entrepreneurs, and I'll sit them right there in the chair. And I'll say, can I ask you a question? Yes. What is it? And they'll typically know what's coming. It's a tough question coming. And I'll say, can I ask why you keep justifying every single thing? Why do you justify so much? Why do you make so many excuses? Oh, Pat, you can't say that. I'm telling you. Why do you justify so much? Why do you make so many excuses? Why do you constantly justify why you're not winning? Why do you do that? Like, you don't think I know what you're doing? You keep doing that. Every single time. You're the only person that's going through the struggle. You tell me about how hard life is. You tell me about how the market is in your area. You tell me about this certain thing that took place that's so difficult that only you're going through. Look, I mean, there's many other people that also run a business. But you keep justifying. You keep making excuses. And almost 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to say 10 out of 10 times, it's because you've already surpassed where you thought you were going to be as an entrepreneur. Goes back to the same thing. And you need to make a decision. What's the next goal, next milestone you want to hit as a company? And you need to go back and ask yourself, you know, what did I used to do in these types of situations? And one of the best questions to ask is to ask your comrades, ask the people that you're in business with. Hey, what did we do at that level that was different? You know what? You used to do this. Hey, what did we do at that level that was, hey, you used to do that. Remember when I remember one time you did this. That's right. That's what we got to do again. Make notes. You know, you got to ask the people around you constantly. Listen, guys, I've been there before myself. And I have to go around and ask people. This is not sitting here trying to be all high and mighty like it's never happened to me before. I'm talking purely from personal experience. I'm not talking from a place I'm talking at you. How would I know this type of stuff if I hadn't experienced it myself? You think one day I just was born and I knew this type of stuff? No. Everything I teach is I've gone through it. You don't see any, what do you call it when you're reading off the stuff? What do you call that kind of stuff?
Monitor?
Not monitor. There's another name for it that presidents read off the, what do you call it when the words are written? They go like this and they're written off of it. There's a name for it. Anyways, we don't have that. I simply have points and I start talking. This comes from the mind that I'm talking to you this about, right? Teleprompter, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is I know when I went through that and I know the formula to get out of it. And now you do. And if you don't, it's on you. If you don't decide to raise your standards again, it's on you. And by the way, let me explain something to you. Some people say, well, people don't like to be around high standards. Really? What types of people? Maybe the types of people you're attracting are not the types of people you want in a company to take it to a different level. I don't want people of low standards around me. Of course I don't want any type of low standards around the company we're trying to build. Oh, but that's too much tiring. You don't belong here. I'm not looking for that type of person. If you come on our team and you play with it with us, we have plans to doing something very big. Our plans are not small. We're not trying to just be another person. We're not trying to just make 10 million or 50 million or 100 million bucks. That's easy to do. We want to do something that's never been done before. Our standards are high. So if you want to be part of history books, so one day we're sitting there reading about this stuff and your name is mentioned, there, come and join us. If not, then don't. But we have high standards, high expectations. And so it may take a little bit longer for us to get somebody that comes on board that's part of that type of a standard. But the moment they come in and everybody else has that energy and the high standard, guess what? Rubs off on everybody. But it starts at the top with the invisible temptation that you never, ever, ever, as a leader, You want to do whatever you can to not be tempted. If it's happened before, don't fall for it. It's attractive. Do not fall for it. It's more attractive than the hottest girl in the world. It's more attractive than the hottest hunk in the world, whatever you think it is. More attractive than any of that stuff. Don't fall for it. It's going to hurt your business. You're going to lose a lot of momentum. Anyways, I said this on another video. Hey, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. My favorite pillow right now. YouTube, subscribe, right? Our goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers by August 31st. By the end of summer, we want to get to 100,000 subscribers. I think right now we're somewhere around 38,000 as of this time when you're watching this video, maybe higher by the time you're watching it again. But we want to get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm launching something very big. We just bought a very, 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 very expensive domain this last week, and we're going to launch this all around the world for entrepreneurs. I will tell you, you're going to say there's never been anything like this once we launch it, and we're going to launch it in the next 4 months. And so you'll know why we want to get this to 100,000 subscribers of entrepreneurs following this channel. So if you're a loyal follower, share the video, share the channel, get people to subscribe, share the content with people that are also into entrepreneurship, and help us get to 100,000 fans. Because, I mean, we're at 38,000 fans because of you. I'm sure you can help us out, get to 100,000 as well. With that being said, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you're watching this video on a complete different website, you can always go visit patrickbetdavid.com for more content. Put a ringtone, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.